everybody, it's Rick, Ruby, and Charlotte. Welcome to this week's episode of the Street Smart Millionaire. So today you're stuck with just me, and I got a lot on my mind. Today we're going to talk about your stock portfolio, your 401k, we're going to talk about your income, we're going to talk about your health. First thing I want to tell you, in the last 3 months, I've completely redid my personal trust, my dynasty trust, which means a trust that, like a revocable trust, once you die, it disperses all the money. So whatever's in it is done. A dynasty trust is a living organism that lives on forever because I want to give my kids an income forever, not assets. Now, then I did my charitable trust because when you have a lot of money, you want to fund a charitable trust to give your money to charity. So I'll put half of my money in a charitable trust. I just funded it for this year. And it also saves me some income tax. And I'm charitable anyway, so better to give it through a trust, just better advantage of some of the tax situations. Now, Friday I had my first real physical. My friend Scout Foreman is one of my best friends, one of the wealthiest men I know. He did this executive physical, and they found something in his heart, and he had a stent put in, and he's all over me. So I had my first 8-hour physical. I mean, all day, tested me for everything, and he poked me, prodded me, hooked me up to wires and did all these tests. I have a little bit of high cholesterol. I went on a pill and a baby aspirin. I met with a nutritionist, changed my diet up a little bit, added a little more fiber, a little more protein. I met with a physical therapist, worked on my training, how to be in a little better shape. Met with my doctor. I got to meet with a heart specialist. It's no problem. I got no issues. It's pretty healthy. But I'm just telling you, I'm making some changes instantly. When I left there Friday, I've changed my diet. I've started in the morning doing 20 push-ups, 20 crunches, and 20 squats. Nothing. It takes 1 minute on top of my 2 workouts. In my workout, I do about 50 reps of about 22 exercises. I'm going to add 1 set of 6 reps of really heavy weight. The doctor would like me to have a little more muscle mass. I'm kind of a skinny old man, so he wants me to add a little muscle mass. You make some changes. My life insurance is all updated. You need 30-year term life insurance until you have $5 million. Then you need no term life insurance. Then when you're at 7 to 10, you need term life insurance to pay the estate tax. So I had insurance to protect my family. Then I had a lot of money and I was self-insured. Now I have a ton of insurance to cover my estate tax. Now remember, you pay 45% tax on everything over $5 million when the last trailing family member dies. So if it's you and your spouse, when you die, the money goes to your spouse. When your spouse dies, the estate pays inheritance tax. This is why people lose family businesses, they lose family farms, because they can't pay the inheritance tax. If you watched Yellowstone, when John Dutton died, that was the big concern, that they couldn't pay the estate tax. So these are things that you got to work on. So I want you to update your trust. So if you have not updated your trust in 2 years, I want you to make an appointment with a lawyer. It should cost you about $1,200. Get a trust built. If you own a home, if you have kids, you got to have a trust. Who gets the kids on you die? What kind of machines you want to put on? Where your stuff goes? So you got to do a trust. Get a good physical. Make some changes to your fitness. Make some changes to your diet. And live a lot longer. I think that I'm a little aggravated that I went and I wasn't as healthy as I thought I was, but I'm telling you, I'm making some changes. I was 190 pounds. I'm normally 185. I've dropped 4 pounds in 4 days just by eating 4 meals a day. I eat a Fairlife Core protein shake, 42 grams in the morning. I have a turkey sandwich for lunch. I have a meat and a potato for dinner. I'm adding a protein shake in the afternoon. You need 4 good meals a day. You need to take on more protein. I mean, this is just what the nutritionist told me, so it's what I'm telling you. So we talked about your trust. We talked about your life insurance. We talked about your fitness. Now let's talk about your business. Everybody is in sales. If you're a doctor, you're in sales. If you're a lawyer, you're in sales. I watch the show Suits. They're salespeople. They're talking clients into coming with them. They're talking clients into staying with them. They're talking the jury into winning with them. So I love the show Suits. I think it represents business really well. I think that Jessica's the boss. She's really tough and demanding. She's ruthless. I think Harvey's the superstar. You all need to become Harvey. He's just driven, tough, confident, wins all the time. I think Donna is the best ops person I've ever seen in my life. I think Rachel is a good trainee. She's learning how to be a lawyer. I think Mike is a good associate, young, tough. I'll give you an example. I interviewed a young loan rep next to me for cross country, which is a company I do a lot of coaching with. And he's an up and comer, does 25 million, but man, he does the basics really well. He's dressed really well. He's really committed to his future. He's going to do really big things, but he's been in the business 8 years and he's currently making about 350. And it's hard to make a lot of money. I mean, there's only 10% of America makes over 250. Only 1% of America makes over 500. Only 1/10% makes $1 million. So I'm telling you, it's hard to make a lot of money. That I've done it for so long is pretty rare. And I've done it for so long. Here's why. I'm always getting new clients. I'm always tightening up my system to take better care of the clients I have. So getting new clients, taking better care of the clients you have, and managing the money. So it's 3 things. It's your lead generation and your referral partners is 1, and your conversion. Number 2, it's your team experience that they give the client. Is the client wowed? Are they thrilled? And 3rd, do you manage the money properly? So I just had 130 people at my latest event. There were guests. I had 350 members. I signed up 98 for coaching. When it was all said and done, I got 70 new students. So I got a bunch of new students. Now me and my coaches and my team are calling all these students, getting them aligned to make sure they make money. If they make money, they'll stay. If they don't make money, they'll fire me. So I got to make sure my clients make more money, save more money, and give more money. That's why they're paying me. So your clients know why they're paying you. What are the 3 things that they're going to get by dealing with you? For me, if you're in the core, you're going to make more income, you're going to save more money, and you're going to give more money away. This is what's going to happen if you pay me. So if you pay me in my subscription for $99 a month, my level 1 accountability program for $750 a month, my level 2 for $2,000 a month, or my high-end level 3 program for $3,500 a month, you're going to make more money, you're going to save more money, and you're going to give more money to charity, or you should fire me. That's what you do. So are you clear? Like in the mortgage business, we will close you on time and smooth. That's what we will do in the mortgage business. Close on time and smooth. In the coaching business, make more, save more, give more. So you got to be clear on what you do for your clients, and you got to do it better than anybody else. I will guarantee you, I run a better mortgage company and a better coaching company than anybody else. My mortgage branches close in 11.75 days. They make 50 points profit. We got people that have been with me up to 30 years that have been working for me. So I run what I consider to be a better business. Now, I have flaws. I'm always trying to figure out how to work more efficiently. I'm always trying to get it done with less employees. I'm always trying to get it done with more referrals, and the clients are thrilled and we get better reviews on social media. I'm always working on making it better. I'm always working on helping my loan reps get more realtors and more leads. I'm always tweaking my P&L. Last month, I ended up doing 90 million and made 55 basis points, which was a really good month for a mortgage branch. Really good. So, I'm always working on my finances. Now, let's talk about lead generation. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to write down your perfect referral partner, who it is, what their name is, 3 or 4 categories that they have that they're doing that make them the perfect referral partner. Like when I interviewed Tyra Lesty, he's got this lady named Becca. She gave him 15 deals last year. She refers really strong. She only likes to go out to fancy meals once in a while, so he takes her to lunch or dinner. She's very loyal. She gives him grace when he screws up. That's a really good referral partner. I look at for me, my best referral partner is Ron at Cross Country. He sends me at least 15 to 30 clients for every one of my events. He always tells people they should go in coaching with me. He trusts me. He respects me. He reveres me. My next best referral partner is a guy named Scott Foreman, who's one of my head coaches. He always brings 8 or 10 people to the program. These are my best referral partners. Chris Vincent runs Windsor Wholesale. He always brings me 4 or 5 clients. These are my best referral partners. They're loyal. They're fun. They care for me. They listen to me. We iron sharpens iron. Those are my best referral partners. I look at my best clients. My best clients do what they're told. They work hard. They're courteous. They're fun to coach. They take it on the chin. They don't get all sensitive. Listen, it's data, tactics, and feelings. The data said I'm in pretty good health. The tactics are change my diet, change my exercise. I got to go see this heart specialist, get one more heart test on Friday. That's the tactics. The feelings are, I was a little nervous about going to the doctor. I'm a little nervous now that I'm not as healthy as I thought I was. I'll tell you a story. My dad died at 60. His dad died at 55. His 3 sisters died at 60. My mom's 85. Her brother is 82. So on my mom's side, they live a long time. On my dad's side, they don't live a long time. So I'm right with God. I've been happily married. I raised good kids. I've left my estate, fabulous shape. I've left the industry better than it was without me. I've made a big difference in the mortgage and real estate industry. I've done a lot of good things in my community. I've given a lot away. So I've always said I'm ready to go when it's my time. I'll tell you honestly now, I'd like to extend my time as long as possible. I'd like to be here yelling at you for as long as I can, whooping you into shape, holding you accountable, picking on you when you make mistakes, guiding you. That's what I want to do. So I look at getting new clients. Understand who your perfect referral partner is. Go get 10 more of them. So if Tyler had 10 Beccas, he'd be doing $100 million. He'd be making $1 million a year, but he don't have 10 Beccas. He's got to go find 10 perfect referral partners. If I had more owners of mortgage companies that believed in me and referred me, more wholesale guys that believed and refer to me, more big producers that believe and refer me, I would have an easier time filling them in. I get my events full, but they're a lot of labor. I did at this last event, I did 50 Zoom trainings with different organizations. I did 9 live talks to fill my event. Plus my coaches and my clients referred me a lot of people. But the difference between a really good trainer and a bad trainer is how many people you can put in the room. How many people can hear your message? How many people can see what you're doing? Like we have about 18 to 22,000 that are watching this podcast every single week. So I know I'm really wealthy and I'm really balanced. So I know my topics. I'm really credible at what I'm talking about. I'm a really good salesman. I'm a really good coach. I'm a really good businessman. Now listen, I'm working on my sales skills. I'm working on my coaching skills. I'm working on my financial skills. I'm always working how to get better. Like in the stock market, I made 3 trades yesterday and sold out of things. I sold 1 thing this morning, less things. I freed up some cash. So let's talk about the stock market. So you have to invest in cash on the sidelines, real estate, and the stock market. You have to invest. You cannot not invest. Even money in the bank is invested, making anywhere from 2 to 5%. So money in the 401k, that's invested in the stock market, and directly buying stocks in the stock market. So here's the Rick Ruby financial plan. You take 20% of your paycheck, you save it every month. Half of it goes to reduce debt, half of it gets invested. It either goes to the bank, it goes to the 401k, or it goes to the stock market. Simple. Once you get 10 to 25 grand cash, max out your 401k. Max your 401k is maxed out. Start putting money in the stock market. Let's talk about how to invest. Now, we understand that we're going to take 20% of every paycheck for 20 years. Now listen, I swear to you, 39 years in a row since I met Bill Wortley, a very wealthy man that taught me about money, and he had $6.3 million in the bank, and he said, save 20% for 20 years, you'll be wealthy. I met him 39 years ago. I have saved 20% of every paycheck for 39 years, and I have never taken equity off the table in real estate or take any money out of the stock market. I've never done it. I buy stuff on debt, then I accelerate it with my cash flow, and I'll get into that in a minute. So I have saved 20% for 39 years. I'm super wealthy. I'm more wealthy than most people you will run into. I mean, I just looked it up, and where I'm at, there's like 20,000 people that have what I have in the bank. That's a pretty small crowd of people, so I have a pretty big bank account. So I will tell you this. I've done it because I've saved in the stock market for 39 years, and I've never taken it out. Let's talk about where to put the money. So the 2 best investments are the SPY, or the S&P 500. That's an index fund that has about 500 stocks in it, and has some of the biggest names, some of the smaller names, some of the new names. There's a wide variety of 500 stocks. So it gives you diversity. Something's going up, something's going down. So year to date, the S&P 500 is up 6.4% year to date. Now, over the last 25 years, the SPY, or the S&P 500, which is actually what it is, SPY is a way to buy it, is up 11% annually over 25 years. 11%. That's fabulous. Like all these financial planners, like we rival the S&P. All these mutual funds, we try to rival the S&P. Well, if you're not going to beat the S&P, you might as well just be in the S&P. So just so you know, 55% of all my money, my 401k, my kids' accounts, my personal accounts is in the S&P 500. Now, there's 2 ways to buy the S&P 500. You can buy the SPY, is a fund that you can buy, or you can buy the Vanguard VOO. Vanguard is a brand, V as in Victor, 0000. So the Vanguard VOO buys the S&P 500. The SPY buys the S&P 500. And most brands, Magellan, Vista, American Funds, they all have an S&P fund. So put your 401k or however you invest, go in a form of the S&P. I would want about half of my money in that. I like technology. So I put 10% of my money in the Invesco QQQ, triple Qs. This is a fund that has 100 innovative technology stocks, little ones, weird ones, new ones, very aggressive. It normally goes up more than the S&P and it goes down more than the S&P. So I only have 10% in. Then I like some individual stocks. So for me, I don't care what you buy. I'm only telling you what I buy. I'm telling you exactly what I do. I don't have a license, so I can't tell you what to buy, but I can legally tell you what I'm buying. So I buy 3 stocks that I love. I love Amazon, I love Meta, and I love Tesla. Those are my 3 favorite long-term stocks that I think are going up. Now, Amazon is only up 1.5% year to date. Meta's up 22%. Tesla's down 20% year to date. But I think long-term, they have the best impact on growth because they're all very heavily using AI. Now, my rock solid favorite stocks are Microsoft, Nvidia, and Costco. Those are my personal all-time favorites. I shop at Costco. I believe Microsoft just does everything. Software, hardware, AI. And I think Nvidia, for me, I think it's one of the greatest companies of all time. I've ridden it for 5 years. I've had it. And my position is gigantic. My position has gone up 10x since I bought it. It's the best stock I've ever hit in my whole entire life. I just bought it when it was a gaming stock, kept it, trusted it. Even 3 months ago when it was at 100, I bought more of it. Today it's at $170. I think it's just, until I see other companies like AMD and Intel and Broadcom make better chips than Nvidia, I'm going to have my money in Nvidia. Why have the rest when you can have the best? So I think Amazon, Meta, Nvidia, Microsoft, Costco, I think they're the best at what they do. I personally have been to Walmart. I find Costco better than Walmart. I find Microsoft better than any other sales company out there to do software. I like Amazon. I get a smiley box. My wife gets something 2 or 3 times a week. I don't know. I think that when I look at investing, buy the S&P and 4 or 5 companies. I think the future, I think AI is just beginning. So I meant there'll be a big AI revolution. I think we'll all have robots. I think Tesla will be the dominant company in the robot business. I think Nvidia will be the chips in the robots. I think we'll buy the robots through Amazon. I think they'll run by Microsoft. I think they'll talk through Meta. I think all those companies will be a big part of the AI future. This is just my personal opinion. You got to do what you do. You got to seek good counsel. So wherever you get good counsel, licensed, wealthy, I give advice because I'm wealthy and I do what I teach what I do. So I don't tell you what to do. I tell you what I'm doing. So make it clear. I'm only telling you what I'm doing. What you should do is do your own investigation, your own research, seek out counsel, talk to financial planners. You got to get a financial plan. You got to get a fitness plan. You got to get a health plan. You got to get a death plan. So everything requires a plan to take it to the next level. So remember, the data don't lie. The tactics fix the data. And then you have good feelings after it's all done. So that's my thoughts about wealth, balance, what to work on. You know, I'll tell you something that I believe in that a lot of people don't believe in. I believe in chores. I try to fix what I can fix. I'm not super handy, but I try to fix whatever I can fix. This weekend, me and my nephew pulled 4 bags of weeds. I pulled 2, he pulled 2. I cut the grass with the riding mower at the farm. I trimmed the pond with the weed eater. I pulled a couple fences that broke. I fed all the animals. I cleaned up a lot of animal poop. This weekend, I tracked it, and I did 7 hours of chores. Now, could I pay somebody to pull weeds? Could I pay somebody to cut the grass? Could I pay somebody to trim the pond? Could I pay somebody to pull fence? Could I pay somebody to pick up animal poop? I know, but what's the point of living on a farm if I'm not going to do some of the work? So I have not done much of this work in the past. And the 4 years that I've been on the farm, I've done more chores than ever. And I'm really happier. I think it makes me more grounded. I think people that do chores are good people. I think people that pay to have everything done in their life, I think they get a little spoiled. And when you're spoiled, you're a little entitled and you're not as good a person as you could be. I think that if you want to be kinder, if you want to have better behavior, if you want to be more liked by other human beings, I would tell you honestly, do more chores. I think chores just ground you and make you a normal human being. Get out there and sweat a little bit. Now, a good friend of mine and one of my coaches, Eric Colby, who's shredded. I mean, he's like 45 years old and he's in the best shape ever. He wears this backpack called this Rucks Sack. He sent it to me, and I wore it a couple times. It was kind of heavy, and it was kind of inconvenient. So I decided this weekend, I'm going to wear it while I did my chores. So I wore that Rucks Sack, 45-pound backpack. It's got steel weights in it. I wore it for all 7 hours, when I walked the dogs, when I pulled weeds, when I fed the animals. I wore it for the whole 7 hours. I'm going to wear it every week. I'm not going to wear it every day, but I'm going to wear it every weekend. Changes I've made to my diet. I've added more fruit. I'm adding a little more fiber. I added another protein shake. I start my day off with a protein shake. I'm adding another protein shake in the afternoon because let's be honest, your body needs protein to grow muscles. It's easy. In my workouts, I'll add a little extra heavy weight. I'll probably do 5 or 6 reps of the heavy weight. This trainer said I had to take my body to exhaustion a little bit and give it a couple days to rest. So listen, I'm a big fan of being a leader, so I'm a bigger fan of being a student. So if you want to lead other people, and you want to lead by example, and you want to lead by authority, and you want to serve other people, which is the best form of leadership, is to serve, to be an example, to be an authority, in that order. If you want to lead more people, be a better student. A lot of you could, listen, if I'm not the right coach for you, or I'm not the right podcaster for you, or I'm not the right example for you, find somebody that you really believe in their philosophies, and do yourself a favor and look behind the curtain. Come check me out anytime you want. I practice what I preach. I live a really solid, balanced life. I work really hard. I was putting in 60, 65 hours a week. Now I'm down to 55 hours a week. I believe if you don't work 50 hours a week, you're not going to do anything well in life. So I believe you work 50 hours a week. I believe you have to do 4 hours a weekend of chores. That's what I believe has to happen. So right now I'm working 55 hours a week. I'm working more than I'm telling you to work. I'm doing 6 or 7 hours a weekend of chores. I'm asking you to do 4 hours of chores. I think these are simple. You gotta, the Bible in the Proverbs today said you gotta seek good counsel. I think I'm good counsel for wealth and balance. I think there are people that are more balanced than me, and there are people that are wealthier than me. I think I do both really well. I see a lot of wealthy people, and they're all single. And they're single because they're consumed by one thing. I'm consumed by Jesus, marriage, fitness, health, coaching, income, increasing my giving, increasing my portfolio. These are all things that are important to me. No, I'm competitive. So I want to be the best coach I can be. I want to have the best portfolio I can have. I want to be the best mortgage man I can be. Now listen, what I don't want to be is the best ever. That's not possible. So I had somebody the other day said they wanted to be the best female loan rep in America. I said, that's a mistake. You want to be your best. Every year you want to be better. Every year I want to be a better Christian, a better husband, a better man, better in my community, better giver, better dad, better grandpa, more fit, more healthy, better earner, better saver, better investor. So I'm working on being better. I'm not working on being the best. Now, if someday people say I was a great coach, or I was a great person, or I was whatever they say I was really good at, that'll come to the end. So I want to finish with this. The date you were born, the date you die, and the dash in between. The dash in between matters. Are you making a difference? Are you making an impact? Are you doing something to make other people's lives better? Whether you're giving your time, or you're giving your money, or you're giving your resources, are you making a difference? Now, here's a question for you. How do you measure the dash? Here's how you measure the dash. Who's at your funeral and what they say about you when you're gone. I've been to some funerals. There was some people there, 50 to 100 people there. They said some okay things. I'm telling you, for me, I want 300 to 500 people at my funeral. I want them to say one thing. He changed my life. That's all I care about, is I change more lives as I go forward. That's my purpose. That's what I believe God put me on this earth, to create disciples, create millionaires, and teach life balance. So I'm a big disciple of Jesus. I have some Jewish friends that are big disciples of God. I have Muslim friends that are big disciple of Allah. I think that you got to be disciples of God. I think that you got to be accumulating wealth, and I want to create as many millionaires. Just so you know, my two favorite stats about me. I've created 767 millionaires in the last 24 years. In 24 years that I've been a coach, I've helped 767 people make $1 million in 1 year. 767 different people. That's a lot of millionaires. Just so you know, 0.1% ever makes $1 million in a year. I've had 767. My second favorite stat, my coaching company, between all the members and me, and I always carry about 350 to 450 members, we've given away $272 million to charity in the last 11 years that I've been tracking it. So I track what every one of my coaches, what I give, what my members give away, and in 11 years, we've given away $272 million in charity. That's my two favorite stats. Now, my third stat, I've been over $1 million in income every year since 1995. So just so you know, I just finished February, I hit it. So February I hit my 30th year where I made over $1 million. I think that's really consistently big for a long time. I think people have made more money than me in a year, but normally they don't make over that number as many years as I've made it. I've not had a bad year. And I think that I'm very consistent with my effort. I'm always working on my process to make it better. I'm always tracking the money really well. So that's how I do so well financially. And in balance, man, if you read anything about God, it's about balance. It's about working hard. He says work sun up to sundown, 6 days a week. He says do chores. He says relax. He says invest in your future. He says save money. He says don't be a debtor. And these are all things in the Bible. Now listen, you either look at the Bible as a great book that's been around 2,000 years, or you look at it as the Word of God. However you look at the Bible, that's how you look at it. So listen, that was my ramblings for the day on the Street Smart Millionaire. Go out there, make yourself a lot of money, invest it wisely, give plenty away to charities, go out there and have balance. And listen, if you want to have more balance, be more charitable. Nothing says like kindness and growth and goodness and love like checkbook, like what you write. You know, years ago, somebody said to me, let me look at your checkbook and I'll tell you where your heart is. Well, you look at my checkbook. I give a lot of money away. I invest a lot of money. I take care of lots of family members. My checkbook, I'm pretty okay with where those checks are going. Is your checkbook okay with where the checks are going, or are you not doing good things with the money? Have a great week. Rick Ruby, Street Smart Millionaire, over and out.